Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Explore Simpson series. We're going to get started in just a minute here, but we would love to hear a little bit from you all. We'll just run through just some kind of logistics for this meeting. So if you have never used Zoom before, welcome. We are also learning some of these new features. If you are on your computer or laptop, iPad, anything like that, you can utilize the chat feature. And we'll be using that a lot for you to go ahead and ask any questions that you might have. But first, we'd love for you to introduce yourself. So in the chat box, you can find that at the bottom. There's 3 dots at the bottom. And you should be able to click that. And then there'll be a section that says chat. You can pull that up. And you can send messages to us, to everyone, to other students. But go ahead and introduce yourselves, hometown, year in school, and maybe what you're planning on majoring in or other interests that you have. And then we'll get started in just a second. All righty. Thank you for following directions. Appreciate that. Okay, so the Explore Simpson series is something that we decided to do, given everything that's going on. We want all of you to still be able to experience all the awesome things that Simpson has to offer from the comfort of your own home. So we are running this weekly series, and it's an experience for students, parents, families to just dive in a little bit deeper into a themed topic. So this week we've been covering our honors program. And so with me tonight, I have Maeve Callan, who's one of the directors, and an honor student who participates in the program, Jalen Seabrooks. So if both of you want to just go ahead and quick introduce yourselves. Maeve, I'll start with you if you want to talk a little bit about what you do at Simpson.
Hi, everyone. So my name's Maeve Callan, and I'm the chair of the religion department. I'm also the director of women's and gender studies, as well as the co-director of honors and the co-director of interfaith fellows. So I do a few things here, and I work closely with lots of outstanding students, and Jalen can tell you what it's like to be a student here at Simpson.
Hi, everyone. So I am a junior at Simpson. I'm double majoring in religion and political science. The honors program was created while I was at Simpson, so I have had a little bit of a different experience, but I've still taken some of the courses and can answer questions about the types of courses, the benefits of the program, or anything else you have. I'm involved in a lot of different things on campus, including Greek life, student government, speech and debate, and the Culver Fellowship. So if you have questions about other areas of campus, just let me know.
Excellent. Thank you both. And I'm Madeline Cano, go by Maddie. I'm the Assistant Director for Diversity, Inclusion, and Access here at Simpson. I work in the admissions office. I primarily work with multicultural students from the Latinx community and first-generation college students, and I do a lot of community outreach. So some of you I've been working with for a little bit here over the course of the past year. And if you guys are juniors or undergraduate, I might work with you in the future. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. The agenda for tonight, I'm going to run over just a couple of general admissions materials. This is mainly geared for those of you who are seniors, who maybe have applied or are looking at Simpson. So if you are a junior or underclassman, some of this might not necessarily apply to you quite yet, but we will have a session dedicated to juniors and underclassmen later in the spring semester. And then we'll go over and let Maeve and Jalen take control of the honors program, and they'll be able to tell you all the great things about that, including some of the courses you might be able to take. And then at the end, we'll do a live Q&A. So what you can do right now, anytime during the presentation, utilize the chat box and go ahead and type in the questions that you have. We have another admissions counselor that's managing the chat box, and he'll be able to make sure that we get your questions answered at the end. So a couple of just next steps for us, but let's talk a little bit about maybe some of the things that you already know about Simpson. If this is your first time, engaging with us, this is just some general background about Simpson College. So we are a small private liberal arts school in Indianola, Iowa, which is about 20 minutes south of Des Moines, the largest metro in the state of Iowa. We have about 1,200 full-time undergraduate students that are on campus. One thing I think that I love to talk about is our faculty student ratio size for classes. most classes are going to be a smaller and more intimate experience. So you're looking at about anywhere from 12 to 15 on average for class sizes. Maybe in the beginning of your freshman year, some of those general education courses you might have a couple more, but as you get deeper into your major, you're going to have definitely a more intimate experience, which I think is really great. That's one of the things I know a lot of students love about Simpson is the connection they have with their professors. We have over 80 different majors, minors, and pre-professional programs at our college, and it's very common to find students that are double majors, maybe even triple majors. All of our students are pretty multifaceted and involved in a lot of different things on campus. And so very well-rounded group of students, and that really allows you to experience a whole variety of different things outside of, maybe your intended major. 100% of our students will receive some sort of financial assistance. So we know that obviously college is a huge financial commitment for you and your entire family, and we want to be able to make sure that you are able to have the full experience without maybe some of the pressures of the financial burdens that come along with college. And so we do offer financial assistance to all of our students, and that's based on two factors. It's based on your merit, which would be your GPA, and then it's also based on your need. So it's going to be based on your FAFSA and family income. And so we can talk a little bit more about that when you have your one-on-one with an admissions counselor and some of those different details. But that's just a quick general overview of some of the things that are here about Simpson. I also have on here internship programs, but I would highly encourage you to sign up for next week. We're going to have an internship and career development session on Thursday, April 9th. So jump into that session to hear from Bobby Sullivan a little bit more on that. So for seniors, those of you who have already applied to Simpson and been admitted, your first step that we definitely are going to need is for you to send in your FAFSA. And this is the document that essentially just helps tell us a little bit more about your family needs situation. It goes off of your taxes, and also it'll look at if you have siblings in college, and that will help us determine what sort of aid you're able to get from the federal government, from the state, and from us at Simpson as well. You can do that by going to fsa.gov and set up an ID for yourself. If you've already done that, good for you. We can move on to the next step. We'd love for you to set up a meeting with your admissions counselor to discuss your financial aid and just to chat with us really about anything. So we're available all the time. Most of you have probably heard from us. Maybe we've texted you, called you, maybe you've already had a Zoom meeting. But we definitely would love to chat with you specifically about your financial aid notice. That way you know everything, the ins and outs of what that entails for you. And we'll walk you through managing those payments and things like that and making sure that you're all set up. You can set up an individual Zoom visit with one of your admissions counselors by going to simpson.edu/visit. And you can just click on individual virtual visit and you can sign up to talk with me or another admissions counselor. We'll also set up faculty meetings with you. So if there are particular faculty, maybe students like Jalen or another staff member, we can set up Zoom meetings for you to talk with them a little bit as well. We really want to make sure we cater this experience for you. So anything you need, we'll try to make it work. And then once you're really ready to commit to Simpson, you want to join our campus community, you'll just pay your $200 enrollment deposit. And once you pay your deposit, you get access to your online student portal, which is called SC Connect. And on SC Connect, that'll just allow you really to kind of get your first glance at what your freshman experience will be like. This is where students are able to utilize all of the things on campus. So this is really helpful in your first kind of step into being a student at Simpson. One of the first things you might want to do is you might fill out your housing application. And that's just a really detailed survey that helps us decide, your roommate and where to put you. So definitely want to fill that out. And then you'll also get more information about your orientation. We call that SOAR, which is Simpson Orientation and Registration. And that's basically where you get to set up your classes for freshman year and you meet your academic advisor. And all of those dates are going to be in June as of right now, but we'll definitely update you if anything changes. This is a quick calendar of our upcoming Explore Simpson virtual series. So this week we did honors, and then you can see next week we have a couple of other topics. We actually are going to be adding a couple more sessions that are more specialized. So stay tuned for that. The schedule will be updated and we'll add more features for you to be able to join with us. But we really hope to see you every week at these sessions. They're tailored to you, so we definitely want you to engage with us and ask any questions that you might have. And then to get best updates from us, please just follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Those are all of our accounts. Otherwise, you can utilize the hashtag #OneSimpson and follow us through that and see what students are talking about or other people in our community. But that's really the best way to get the most up-to-date information from us, is to follow us on social media. And now I'll turn it over to Maeve, who's going to talk a little bit about the honors program.
Okay, great. And Jalen, you can unmute and join whenever you want to. And I just seeing the various areas that you're interested in, I just want to point out a couple of things. And one is that, so one of you is interested in occupational therapy, and my co-director of the honors program, Katie Smith, she is in exercise science. So occupational therapy sort of feeds into exercise science. So she'd be a great person to work with there. And then a lot of you are also interested in poli-sci. So Jalen, as she said, she's poli-sci and religion. And so she's also a Culver Fellow, which maybe some of you are, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but, and she's also an Interfaith Fellow. And those tend to be things that people are brought into Simpson as a Culver Fellow or an Interfaith Fellow, but they're, with Interfaith Fellows anyways, there can be other arrangements made. And even if you're not a Culver Fellow or an Interfaith Fellow, there's all sorts of opportunities to get involved in politics and have internships and have opportunities to meet with people who are working in politics and to meet the candidates. And you know, Iowa has tended to be ground zero as far as presidential campaigns go. So you get a lot of access to different politicians. So I just want to throw that out there. Okay, so the honors program, I'd say there are two things that I would emphasize most about the honors program. And one is that it's interdisciplinary by its very nature. So in the other courses that we teach, we tend to consider disciplines other than just our own, but the honors courses are at their very heart interdisciplinary. So you will regularly be bringing in multiple different fields of how to understand a particular phenomenon or something that's going on. And the other thing that's very much related to that is it's about applying it to the world. So it's not just an intellectual inquiry, it very much has a practical component. So those two things are just helping to intensify and deepen the educational experience you get. It's not just more work, that's not the focus of the honors program. It's really to inspire you to become active intellectually and to apply what you're learning to the situations that are surrounding us. As we see right now, we're in a historic situation where we could use basically all the innovation and application that we could possibly get. So that's what those bullet points basically just say what I just said in different ways of saying it. One of the strengths of the honors program is the level of engagement with the students. The students are outstanding. I mean, we have strong students across the board at Simpson, but in the honors classes, they are really engaged and they get very excited about bouncing their ideas off of each other and challenging each other to think about things in a different way. And this is a picture of one of the classes that we taught the first year, and it's called Choking on Plastic. So it's looking at how our human use of plastics is really damaging the environment. And so you'll have another picture of this later, but that sort of artistic installation at the front is just the plastic that those students, and you see there's not a lot of students, they had a task of not recycling or throwing away the plastic they used, and that was the plastic they used in 1 week. And a lot of times we just don't even think about all the plastic that we're consuming and the impacts. And so they were studying the impacts that this use of plastic has on the environment. And then it also had a campaign. Towards the end of the year, they petitioned to have our food service. Frequently, there'll be plastic cutlery that's used for various meals and different kinds of things. And so I think it was they were switching to bamboo as a more sustainable, but that wasn't my course, so I'm not sure exactly what the solution was, but that's what you're seeing there. So do you want to go to the next slide, Maddie? Okay, so as Jalen said too, so Jalen is a junior, and this program is in its second year. So um, we have freshmen and sophomores who were able to come in as honor students, but then students like Jalen could choose to become honor students provided they met certain criteria. And similarly, even though we already have the honors program in place, you don't have to come to Simpson as an honors student. Anybody can take one course in the honors program, regardless of whether or not they meet the criteria. And then if they want to pursue other honors opportunities, then that's when we have to consider the criteria. But as far as people coming in like yourselves as first year students, these are some of the factors that we consider: that you have a 3.5 cumulative GPA or higher. We look at your ACTs or SATs, but we really do look at the whole student as well. And a lot of students excel in different ways. And we will consider things like different kind of councils and service work that you've done as well. And of course the essay, we will be reading the essay, or it's not much of an essay, but at least you're putting your thoughts on what honors education means to you. Want to go to the next one, Maddie? Thank you. So while you're here, and Jalen, just interrupt and speak up whenever you want to. But what you're expected to do while you're here is to take 5 honors courses. And so if you come in as an honor student, you'll have every student, when they come into Simpson, they take what's called a Simpson colloquium. So that's the SC. Honor students will take an SC honors. And so together you will be with other students who are coming in as honor students. And then throughout the course of your time at Simpson, you're expected to take at least 4 more other honors courses. And there's academic criteria as far as the grades that you earn in those courses to maintain eligibility. And then next year will be the first time that we're doing a capstone, which is like it's your senior year. What have you learned? How will you apply it, kind of thing, with other honors students. And the expectation is that your GPA while you're at Simpson will be 3.3 or higher in order to graduate with honors. I want to allow Jalen an opportunity.
Yeah, one thing I'll just add is a lot of the honors courses have other designations. So at Simpson, we don't call it a gen ed curriculum, but it is similar to what other schools refer to as a gen ed curriculum. So some of your honors courses will be able to fulfill those requirements. So in case you have any concerns about the number of classes or anything like that, that's one way, where it's not necessarily that you're taking 5 extra classes as much as just replacing 5 classes you would take in other ways.
Right, that's an important point. Like every SC or Simpson colloquium carries with it a critical thinking and a written communication designation. So you would get those with your SC. Okay, so some of the things that we emphasize when at Simpson Honors is that it's really about participation and engagement. We look at it, for those of you familiar with more of a seminar type approach, there's very little lecturing in honors classes, really just as necessary. And it's more about enabling the students to engage with the material deeply and with each other, and seeing what is the relevance to what we're looking at and the world around us today. And the world around us can be broadly defined or it can be narrowly defined. The maximum number of students in an honors class is 18. Frequently, they are much smaller than that. Even some have been 8 students. Even the course that I taught was 10 students. And it's just great because I think 10 is especially a good number, because the students are so actively engaged. With 10, everybody gets to participate as much as they want to. And so it's a really wonderful community that we have in the classroom there. Yeah, and I'm not sure how much, honor students tend to be high achieving and somewhat ambitious people. So I'm not sure how much they're afraid of learning, but it's really about how can we solve the situations, or how can we improve upon things in the world around us. And yeah, the friendships that people develop at college generally are really part of the huge draw of a college experience, but especially within the honors environment, because they really do support each other as they excel. And I personally don't notice there's a healthy competition, because again, honor students tend to really care about their grades, and so some of them really are motivated in part by competition, but I've never perceived anything where it's been a tense, hostile kind of thing. It's been very supportive, and let's encourage each other to do the best that we can. Want to go to the next one?
Yeah, the community that builds in these classrooms, I think, is one of the most important parts, because you kind of are going through this together and these courses together, and it's just another way to build community at Simpson. There's lots of different opportunities for it, and I think honors does a really good job of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as I said, that's the plastic of those students, and I think, again, that was like a class of like 8 people. So that was what they used in a week. And so these are some of the courses that we've taught in the past or will be teaching next year. So the ones that are italicized towards the bottom, those are the ones that are going to be offered next year. So those are the ones that you could take. And we'll have the SCs that you could be in a little bit, but these ones are regular, like they're not SC classes. So we've got, I'll just go over a little bit of what we've had before and then talk about what we'll be doing. So I'll talk, the Harry Potter and the Liberal Arts course is the course that I taught with Jalen. And we were looking at 7 different liberal arts, and we started out with the arts like theater and painting and music. And then I'm not going to go into all of them because I see we have 6 minutes left, but that we also considered politics, and we considered psychology, and we considered genetics, like is magic and a dominant or recessive trait. We had all sorts of fascinating conversations about this, and finishing up with religion being the 7th of the liberal arts that we were going to consider. Conspiracy theories and fake news, I'll talk more on the courses that you can take in the future. So actually, I think this one was in the past, and this is a debate one. And I think what he's focusing on for next year is having to do with K through 12 education. The yin and yang of linguistics and language is looking especially at Russian language and literacy and how we acquire language skills. I see, debating education policy, that's the one. So he did conspiracy theories and fake news before, and debating education policy. So a lot of our students, including Jalen, they tend to be debaters. Right? A lot of debaters are honor students as well. So maybe you're a debater, this would be a great class for you. Do you want to go to the next one, Maddie? 5 minutes. Right, so these are the honors courses that you can choose from too. So we have had wonderful response to the honors program. And when I've done this in person in the past, we've talked about the 18 student limit, and we have more than 18 students who are interested and who are very capable. And we have assured prospective students that if there is interest, we will provide for it. We will not turn exceptional students away who want to have this kind of education. And so that's what we're doing. So we now have 2 SC honors. One is emphasizing sort of like on the intersection of biology and art, looking at how, what is it like, it's called like biomimicry or something, and it's looking at how by studying the natural environment and biological functions, how we can apply that in our own art and technology. Ashwati would do a much better job of explaining it, but that's sort of the gist of it. And then we're looking at, in the other course, theater and how it can help, I think, like with therapeutic applications, and how the many different applications that theater can have. It's not just entertainment, and how it can be used like in various kinds of therapies and things like that, I think. So these are just pictures of some of, this is one of the classes that Katie did, my co-director in honors, is Health at Every Size. And so this is also teaching people, like we sometimes have a sort of artificial notion about what's healthy. And so getting like really examining our assumptions about body size and body stereotypes. And so it was, even though Katie, her particular area of expertise is in nutrition and exercise science and sports science, she also had an artist come in and sort of co-teach part of the course to help students apply what they were learning through art. Okay, I'm not sure about this. All right, there we are. That's Katie and that's me. And you can reach out to either one of us. You probably heard from Katie. Katie's been taking the lead as far as responding to inquiries about the program from prospective students. So I think that's 3 minutes for questions. Sure.
So if you've already typed your question in the chat box, we'll have Dave, who's on, just read some of those out loud, but go ahead and you can type your questions now. Otherwise, if you even want to jump on video with us, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question on video chat, whatever you would like to do. We've got a couple minutes just for Q&A here with Jalen and Maeve or myself.
We don't have any questions yet, but the first one's always the most difficult. So jump in whenever, guys.
Jalen, do you want to offer anything about like you wish you knew then what you know now and all your wisdom?
Yeah, I think one question people might have is just like, what if you're not interested in any of like the specific, so we showed that list of classes. And sometimes just by the titles, they can seem like they're kind of specific, but I think one thing that's really powerful about honors is sometimes you will find classes that you're really interested in. So if you're really interested in Harry Potter, obviously that's a great class. But the other thing is that even for the ones where you're like, oh, I don't really know about that, a lot of students who take these classes become really passionate about these things because, one, you're learning from an expert, the professor who's really invested in it, and the community that you create. So for example, in the plastics class, I had a friend that actually decided to start doing like some advocacy work about environmental justice after taking that course. And she wasn't really that interested in it before, but it kind of sparked that passion. So.
Yeah, and I just want to follow up on this because this is a new program. This is towards the end of the second year. We are very student-centered at Simpson in all sorts of ways. And so some of those courses are the results, including of Harry Potter and the liberal arts, of students saying, this is what I want, and we can make it happen. So we do have a question. How exactly do we apply for this? Do you want to take that one, Maddie?
Yep, so for the actual honors program, so I think there's sort of two ways that we've sort of done it. Because we went test optional this year, we have changed kind of the way that we've done admissions. And so we are looking at, there's an invitation to apply, if that's correct. And then there's an automatic, you qualify to be admitted. And so either Maeve or Katie would reach out to you. I think actually Katie's kind of taking the lead on reaching out to students about applying to this. So check your email. You probably have gotten something definitely in your email, and for sure we've sent out letters about participating in the honors program. So we look at that through your transcript. So anything, if you have a 3.5 or higher, those types of things that are your prerequisites for being automatically accepted into the program, you would have received something. But if you have any kind of interest, I would highly recommend reaching out directly to Maeve or Katie. And I am actually planning on anyone who's in this call tonight, I'm planning on sending that list to Katie. So you will be hearing from her in the next couple of days. But I can jump back to that slide and you can take down their emails and just contact them directly.
Yeah, and I see there's a student named Katie who's wondering about, is the honors program a club of sorts, and are there outside activities? So one of the aspects of the honors program is that there are what we call extracurricular activities. And it can be difficult to schedule things because, again, honors students tend to be high achieving, which means they are very busy students. And so as far as like scheduling something that will work for a significant number of students, that is sometimes it's not happening as often as we want, but that is the idea, that there is support and a community that is definitely outside of the classroom as well.
And I think you all do a really great job of also inviting other faculty members and outside experts into the classroom.
Oh, so, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that's a really great aspect for sure, that yes, you have someone who's teaching the course, but you know, you're definitely going to be able to be exposed to a whole variety of different folks in a variety of different professional backgrounds.
Right. When I was doing Harry Potter and the liberal arts, I think I had 5 different faculty members come and talk, because like we have so many areas of expertise to draw upon. And like my friend Mike, who teaches in music, and he's a band instructor among other things, and he brought his baton conductor, whatever it's called, I don't know, but it's like a wand, and you can tell the difference between like a not very like a more utilitarian kind of baton and like a finely crafted one that does feel like it's got magic running through it, because it's able to balance and do great things. And so yeah, and there's a recognition, like while we have expertise in certain areas, we don't have expertise in all these areas. And so bringing people in, like when I was talking about magic, the genetics of magic, I brought in my friend who's teaching the SC honors, one of the SC honors this year, to talk about dominant and recessive traits and things like that. How many athletes? I don't know about the earlier move-in date, and I don't think that's true that they don't have an earlier move-in date. They do get to register before others. They get priority registration. So whenever they're registering for classes, they get to be among the first to register, but I don't think they get to move in earlier. I will say there are a significant number of student athletes. And this is one of the things we've discussed doing. Do we have like an honors dorm or an honors house? And it's been athletes in particular who have said, you know, I'd rather not, because of the people on my team that I'm very close with, and I want to be able to be more in community with them as well as the honors people. So are all of the honors classes firsthand or something? Oh, face-to-face, like, well, obviously we're living in a virtual experiment right now. So the honors courses that were in process have moved to online for this semester, because everything has moved to online for this semester. But before this global pandemic, they were all face-to-face classes. So we tend to incorporate a lot of online aspects as resources, but the face-to-face experience is ideal for this kind of environment. So,
any other questions on there?
I mean, I don't, Maddie or Dave, I don't think they get an earlier move-in date.
No, I mean, there's not an earlier move-in day specific to honor students. If you're a student athlete or if you're part of other programs, that could potentially allow you to move in early, but nothing specific to honors.
But you never know also in the future. I mean, like I said, we're a very student-centered community. And so if students want something to happen, I mean, Jalen could talk about this. Jalen was student body president. If students want to make something happen and it's a good idea, we can frequently make it happen.
Awesome. All right. Any final questions you have for any of us? I think we wrapped up most of them, right? Okay. Well, obviously you can contact Katie or Maeve at any time. Move on to this as well. Again, stay connected with us. Utilize our social media, talk with your admissions counselor. We'll be reaching out to you pretty frequently. All of you will be hearing from Katie Smith in the next couple of days here. So definitely, if you're interested in honors, please reach out to us. We'd love to get you connected with that great community. And we appreciate you all joining us tonight. So stay tuned for next week for our Explore Simpson series. We're going to be digging in on undergraduate research and also internships and career development. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.